Get. Oh, it's live right now. Hello. Hello. Alright, cool. Oh, my back really hurts. I'm pretty sure this chair is not helping things at all. Oh. But it's my muscles. I feel like, yeah, it's more my muscles and not my bones. But I'm pretty sure I must be doing something in the day to be messing that shit up. And I will guarantee you it's likely, heavily likely, it's something to do with this fucking chair. I hate it so much. Well, I love it, but it's like every single chair that I've had here has just been monstrously terrible for my back. Every single chair I've had so far. And I'm not sure if it's like, because like, I don't know, this side of the room, or in the room it's like slightly tilted, and so even when sitting, my back is just putting that little bit of extra energy to keep it upright, which is causing my muscles to get just absolutely stressed out. Or if it's like, if it's just the way that the back is formed, the chair is formed, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, so we're gonna be doing this thing.
Okay, what does...
Oh, hang on, let me just check to see if my levels are alright.
Okay,
Hello.
what does YES
Hello.
spell?
Yes.
What does EYES?
I could probably put this up a little bit. Alright.
Yes.
Alright, let's have a look at what I've done so far.
Okay, what does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What is happening?
What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does...
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What does YES...
Alright, so that's all the motions I've done so far. What I want to do right now is do the little motion I want Hey Butter to do after she says try again.
Okay, try again.
That one there. I know what she's going to do. And then I want to focus on Bright Mac's bloody motions here. So let's give it a look.
What are you crying for? What are you doing? What are you doing?
So here. Actually, I think... Oh no, I do need to pulse a bit here. There we go.
What are you doing?
I'm just going to move the finger back. There we go. Where's the finger aim one? Alright.
What are you doing?
So, about halfway through this speech here, going to have both hands on the ground. just going to put her in a position to begin her next motion. Yeah.
Okay, try again. Okay.
Alright. Alright. So the next thing... This...
Try again. Try again.
Yeah. Back is it's a concerning amount of pain. So I'm just gonna line up her pelvis properly. No, I need to lean her forward. Neck back, head down. I'm also just going to move that head to the left here. I think that's going to make it look good. Okay, I'm also going to make sure her fingers are on the ground. That's an important factor to have. Okay. So from here, I'm going to move the pelvis forward up, and then I'm also going to move her toes forward because she's just moving a little bit closer to him. It's the instant image that I had in my mind when I heard this part of the audio was this exact sort of motion. Originally, I had it planned that they'd be on a bench, so the motion was going to be a little bit easier, I suppose. But I don't back away from a challenge. I have to make sure her feet aren't breaking her knees. This rig is incredibly comprehensive. I used to be very, I wouldn't say against rigs, just because I felt like, you know, oh, it's cheating. But I can't remember how many streams ago it was, but I had this big old rant when I was like, well, everything in animation is cheating. Because cheating is just doing cheating in animation and art projects is just increasing your efficiencies. Okay, so she's lifted up here, and I want her to sit down on the again because it emphasizes the. I like matching up the motions to. Which. Yes. Yes. And again, make sure her foot isn't breaking her knees. And not get too distracted by this fucking kick-ass music. Okay.
Okay, try again. Try again.
So here, yeah, like I drown out the sound of moving the timeline across. because I'm so used to it. But I know that a couple of you have, well, I say couple of you, but currently there's one person watching. It says 1 concurrent viewers on the analytics thing, and then 0 concurrent viewers next to the video, which is weird to me. But anyway, I noticed that a couple people that watch the stream was just cannot, like, drown it out. And I'm just like, well, that's just normal for me. Okay, so just gonna break her legs for a second there. Hello. Ebuxy. Oxy. Axie. Axie. How's it going? I always love trying to pronounce people's names. I'm sorry if I, like, get that really, really wrong, but there we go, no longer breaking her legs. Isn't it? It's always good to no longer be breaking your legs. Oh, this is one of those good songs. Just make sure she's actually sitting properly. Yeah, just like that. Cool. Next one as well. Gotta make sure her foot is, of course, not breaking her leg. That looks good. That looks good. Alright, cool. And now, I have to move her. There we go. Move her spine back. So the only issue with placing the characters this close together is that it does limit, like, she's now able to reach him physically, but it does limit the range of motion that I can do with these characters. Because the other thing as well is that such big poofy hair, it would interrupt with his silhouette a bit. That's okay. I mean, hey, I'm watching too, so, I mean, you're not alone in watching, because I'm watching what I'm doing as well. But yeah, no. I don't expect that. I don't expect that the method of me, the way I'm scheduling these live streams is going to get particularly a lot of attention, because of the fact that I can't, because of the fact that I can't guarantee a 7-day cycle. Like, I can't say, all right, every Monday I'm going to be live streaming every Monday. I can't do that because of the way that my work schedule works. I'm actually on an 8-day cycle. So every single week it's going to move forward one day. And for people that already operate on a 7-day cycle, having to then adjust to an 8-day cycle is really complicated. So this program is called Source Filmmaker. It is a free animating software that you can use. There's a lot of tutorials out there for you to get started as well. If you want to make a career, if you just want to do this as a hobby, SFM is an incredibly powerful and really useful tool. If you want to make a career out of animation as a generalized thing, don't use SFM, really. Try using programs like Maya or Blender. Blender's especially good because that's also free. But SFM, the way SFM operates is very much not the industry standard. The tool that I'm using currently is called the Motion Editor, which is an incredibly powerful and comprehensive tool, but there is no other animation program that uses a tool like this. Most animation programs use the graph editor, where you actually place physical points, where I can show you the demonstration here. Place physical points that interact with the lines of tangents. But the motion editor just manipulates the actual line itself. It's very powerful to be able to do that without using graphs and point lines and things like that, but it's not industry standard. So if you want to make a career out of animation, stick with something like Blender. There's, of course, a hell of a lot of tutorials on Blender. And the other benefit is that you can actually make your own models in Blender. You can't make models in SFM. You have to use Blender to make models in SFM. So it's like... But if you just want to do this as a hobby, SFM is a really comprehensive tool to get into, because there's a lot of community resources out there that you can use to not only have models, like, for example, the grass that I've got here, the trees that I have, the texture of the sky is a photo that I took myself, but I applied that to a model which exists in the community. And then you've got the trees in the background, and then you've got the actual characters themselves. You know, those sorts of resources are out there, and you can just download them and use them. But of course, with proper credit. I'm really bad at that, but I need to get better at it. But yeah, it's not industry standard. It's incredibly powerful, and it's incredibly simple to use, but it's not the industry standard. But yeah, don't feel bad about even just giving it a go, because there are a lot of things that you can learn in SFM that is transitive between programs. When I say it's not industry standard, it's just the way that the program actually functions and how you interact with the models. But the lessons that you learn about being able to picture a 3D space and moving around and knowing how to put put the points of the rig in different areas to make motion seem natural or robotic, or to achieve the effect you're looking for. Those sorts of skills are definitely transitive between all animation programs, because that's something that you build in yourself. That's a skill that you make yourself get. But yeah, most of the actual, like, I say smaller, inconsequential, like actually how to use the program is not transitive between all the animation softwares. But if you learn Blender, you can pick up Maya, 3ds Max, all that sort of things really easily. If you learn SFM, all the controls and everything around SFM, it's not as easy to go to things like Blender and Maya and things like that. So yeah, if you're looking at making this into a career, if you're starting out, by all means, pick up SFM and just do it. I started out on an animation program called Pivot, which is a 2D stick figure a 2D bones and rotation stick figure animator. So that's where I started out. You couldn't even change the length of the bone segments to be able to actually make them do different motions and things like that. But I learned how to, it was a frame by frame animator. So I learned how to, make a motion like this seem a little bit more natural by using rotations and things like that. So yeah, that was how I started out with Pivot. But yeah, I'm just doing this as a hobby, so I don't intend on going too crazy with animation in general. Which means I'll actually have more time to just mess around with animation and have fun with it. Red Ace. He's actually in the industry now, which is actually really awesome. That, he went to uni for animation, and now he's actually working in the industry. I'm pretty sure he's... I haven't talked with him in a while, but I'm pretty sure he's still freelance, working with a specific company. He's not contracted under the company to work with them, but I don't know much about what's going on in that situation. But yeah, it is pretty cool how it's like, yeah, he's in the industry now, which is really awesome. I haven't talked to him in a long time though, so I can't really say like, yeah, he's my buddy. No, yeah, he's a friend, but I haven't talked to him in a long time, so there's that sort of like interpersonal connection that you need to maintain. That I'm really bad at. But yeah, no. So, and he started with SFM as well. He started doing SFM programs, and I'm pretty sure he did Blender in the university. But yeah, no, he started with knowing how to make things look pretty in SFM, and then he started making animations, and then he went to uni for animations and things like that. So, can't remember how old he was when he started, but the Red Ace of Space. Pretty good lad. Anyway, so let's have a look at what I've done so far.
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What?
I love that little man. Okay.
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What?
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What?
So, the process that I'm doing right now, and this is one of those transitive skills that you learn as a sort of like, there's how to use the programs, and then there's how to animate. There's two separate things that you can learn independently of each other. This is a how to animate skill. What I'm doing currently is a thing called blocking, the blocking motion, which if you look at all the other live streams of literally every single other animation I've done, I was not doing blocking, I was just doing the final motions as the first pass, which is not good. But what I'm currently doing is blocking, and that is where you have the basics of what the poses are going to be, the absolute rawest basics of what the poses are, and it's just like, they're just snapping between the poses. It's just the basic raw poses. And let's have a look.
ES spell.
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
So that's
What
what
is-
that's what blocking, like the very first pass of blocking, and when I say pass, I mean it's from start to finish. You go one pass through is like, the first pass is always, you're working with no motion whatsoever and you're just adding the poses in. That's the first pass. The second pass of blocking is where you add some in-between poses between the poses that you've animated to make it seem more natural. The third pass you can do, you can keep doing more and more passes of just things to make it look more and more nicer in blocking, so snapping the motions. And then when you actually start doing the smooth transition between the two, that's when you do another few passes of that to make the motions seem more natural. The best thing you can do when animating is to do your blocking passes first, so that you get an idea of what your characters are actually going to be doing in any pose at any point in time. And the other important part about doing this is that blocking is a lot quicker than doing final motions. And if you're working in a team, you might have people who require to know where the characters are so they can set the lighting or the camera motions correct. You need to know where the characters are in order to set the background up when you're doing scene and modeling and sort of stuff, because you don't want characters to be actually like phasing in and out of the scene. So being able to do a quick blocking sort of thing gives a resource for the rest of your team to use to be able to know what thing's doing. And also, you might have your composers who are going to be composing sound to the scene, but need to know how the characters are moving so they can emphasize certain motions or certain sounds based off of what your character is doing. And you bounce back and forth between different avenues of the team. So blocking is really important to learn, and I wasn't doing that for the majority of my my animations at all. In fact, I only started doing blocking for my Ain't No Rest for the Wicked one. I started out doing the full motions, and I'm like, actually, no, I'm gonna block it. And then I started blocking. I'm like, wow, this is actually really important to do. And that's one of the reasons why. So yeah, that's one of those how to animate skills.
Is happening?
What does YES spell?
Yes.
But the thing I was alluding to is that sometimes blocking, there's no, you don't have to do like one pose every second, and you don't have to stick to that. Because sometimes, like in the instance of this, where I'm doing a complicated motion, the first pass of the blocking can be a little bit more full on than the rest of it. Because, you have the frequency of
Yes. What are you crying for?
different poses,
What does...
and it speeds up and slows down. And then you've got this one pose where it's like,
Okay, try again.
like it's
What does...
What are you doing?
Okay, try again.
Like-
What does...
the frequency of the difference in poses got a lot quicker for that one, because of the fact that it's a complicated. I say complicated because like moving forward isn't really that complicated, but it is a complicated pose. And this song just pops in, and it's really, really fitting. Pardon. But yes, I'm just gonna turn down the music one sec. There we go. But yes, so it is a complicated series of poses that require a lot more frequency between them.
Try again. What?
And that's okay, it's the first pass, and of course it's probably not even going to look like that at the end. But it's important to be able to get that through so you can say, okay, now I can do other things related to the project.
Try again. What does...
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What?
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What does...
What are you doing?
Okay, try again.
And you could start getting that, like, this is fueling my soul aspect of when you're doing an animation like this. I was just, like, at the last part of doing her motions, the first pass of her blocking, at the end I was like, oh my god, I'm loving this so much, like, this animation is giving me life. You can't get that if you're doing it slowly.
Okay, what does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What is happening?
What does Y-E-S spell?
Yes.
What does E-Y-E-S spell?
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does it...
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What?
SpongeBob is a bully, please don't support him. Hi. How's it going, SpongeBob is a bully, please don't support him? How has your day been, SpongeBob is a bully, please don't support him? And yes, am I gonna say your full name every time I interact with you, SpongeBob is a bully, please don't support him? So this is not the place to make a drawing request. For one, it's a live stream and it's really obtrusive to try and add your own projects onto the mind of the person who's trying to do a stream, unless the stream is specifically around it. And the second thing is, I'm not a drawing artist, I'm an animator, 3D animator, so I can't really do a drawing request, so... I mean, you can go ahead, but like, it's just essentially just saying in things and not actually gonna be as a result of anything.
Okay, try again. What does it...
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What?
Okay.
Y spell?
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to try and do some of his motions. I feel like... No. No, I won't be doing that. I'm going to remove that. So this program is SFM, like I said before, Source Filmmakers, a 3D animation program. And no, I will not be submitting to your requests. You can say though, I'm fine with that. I do not want to hear it. You can put it down, but I'm not going to hear it, of course, because it's just text. I'm going to have to read it out, but I'm not going to hear it, you know?
Okay.
I want to, just real quick, is this where his face, no, his face flexes are in his head. Face flexes, lower face. I'm gonna do... No, okay, so I can't really do facial poses at the moment because I don't know what he's going to be doing. That's one of the reasons why blocking is so important. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in timeout. I'm gonna remove all these ones. There we go. I don't appreciate that type of content on this channel. This is a family-friendly channel, sir.
Okay.
Take your strange fetishes elsewhere. I'm pretty sure there's, I'm pretty sure... What is it? Picato? That might be a place to find an artist that you can commission that from. Of course, I'm not going to be accepting any commissions at all. But yes, I use that word specifically, commission, because you should not be the type of person to request artists, or you don't want to request art that you want to see, because that is slimy and dirtbag sort of motion, and you should stop doing that right now. I realize that, you know, it could be cruel to hear that if you request art from an artist, you're a dirtbag, but if you expect that the artist is going to make your art request without paying them for it, then that is a behavior that you should stop right now, at this very moment. I don't really appreciate the fact that you just went onto a 3D animation live stream with a drawing request and went straight into it. I realize you're probably just trolling and shit, but like, again, I also don't appreciate that as well. So you're either a dirtbag in the sense of you want to have art made for you without paying the artist, which is disgusting, or you're a dirtbag and you just want to troll someone online, which, again, that just makes you more of a dirtbag. So, you know, either way, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really affect me that much. Okay, so Bright Mac here is concerned. I shall entertain the thought of you no longer. Okay, so I'm going to have him. Oh, so hang on.
Okay.
He's gonna be leaning forward slightly, because he's gonna be like, "What are you on about?" Okay. Oh, also you have lost the you have lost the privilege of me saying your entire name every time I interact with you now. I'm not even going to say your name at all, so you've lost that ability. So, that is the one power I can take away from you. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to keep this pose for a bit longer. Here, the first pose here. If I head there.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So here, I'm gonna have him begin a lean forward, because he's gonna be nodding here. Okay. And then I'm gonna have him lean back.
Okay.
You see the other difficulty. So I had a big rant at the beginning of last stream, disambiguating the differences between skill and talent and skill. Where if you're sitting there saying I don't have the talent to make art, then that is a really toxic mindset to have for yourself. And when I say that, I mean that it doesn't help you at all to assume that in order to make any form of art that you need to have this mystical thing called talent. Talent is incredibly ambiguous. It doesn't really exist. Every artist will tell you that they are not talented. They are skilled. That's a big difference between the two. As I said before, talent is this really ambiguous conception of, you know, you just have this strange ability to make works of art, no matter what artistic field you're in. And again, this is not, when I say art, I'm referring to literally any single piece of work that you make. Construction is an art. You know, you've got architecture, but then you also have the actual physical building of the things. And, you know, carpenters and architects and artists and I say artists, when I say artists, I mean like painting artists, that sort of the classical term of artwork. But, you know, painters and drawers and animators and all that sort of stuff, all of them will tell you that they are not talented. They are skilled, because they built up their skill over tens of years of doing their trade, doing their artworks. They've built up that skill. You don't start out making great works of art. You build up to it. And to sit there and completely arbitrarily prohibit yourself from joining any sort of field of art because you don't think you are talented enough to do it is a very bad mindset to have. You have to just start doing it, and then you will eventually get to the point where you can make those great works of art. You will build upon your skills. I'm saying this because there is a thing called talent, and there are certain talents that are impossible to build as a skill, or at least in my mind it's very difficult to build that up as nothing. But these talents are specifically things like having a good voice, for instance, having a decent voice that fits the character, being able to do things like make accents, for instance, you know, just being able to like rip out a different accent and be able to fit that to a character, or like when you can you know, change your voice to make it more of a different thing. Mind you, I'm not trying to say that you have to be able to do have these sorts of talents to be a voice actor. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that there are certain talents which can be difficult to train and build up as a skill that can assist you in different fields of art. When it comes to being a voice actor, for instance, having the ability to pick up and train different accents is a talent that you can do, but it's not a prerequisite for you to start doing voiceover. All you need to do is grab a mic, grab a recording studio, and start talking into a microphone. You will build up the skills, the small little things that makes your voiceover work so much better just based off of doing those sorts of things. People can train you how to make the vocal quality of your voice work a lot better. And you can train the little things like, you know, what microphone you need, what setting you should put it at, what recording studio you need, what filters you should apply, all those sorts of things that get you to build up the skill of voice work. And of course, you know, your vocal inflection, how to read without reading. And when I say that, I mean like there's a difference between it was a bright and sunny morning, and it was a bright and sunny morning, and it was a bright and sunny morning. You know, different ways that you can read a line without sounding like you're actually reading a line, and being able to add emotion into it. Those are the sorts of things that you can train and you learn as a skill. But of course, the talent of being able to, you know, change your vocal inflections and make all those sorts of things can be difficult to train, but it's not impossible. I'm doing a roundabout way of going back to the thing that is holding me back in animating bright max motions here is my talent of being able to picture what the characters are doing in my mind and being able to try and get that into the reality. I can't really see what Big Mac is doing here, what Bright Mac is doing here. I can't really see that, and that makes it difficult. When it comes to pear butter, instantly I knew exactly what she was doing.
What does YES spell?
Yes.
I knew exactly what pear butter was doing because I could see it in my brain. And when I was talking about when I was talking about this motion here, I'm talking about this motion here.
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What?
Like, I knew exactly that from watching it, listening to the audio the first time, I knew exactly what that character was doing at that point in time. There's no way I can describe how to train the ability to just see what a character is doing. You learn that as you're going, of course. It makes it easier to be able to do that sort of stuff, but I don't know how to describe that to people, and so I would describe that as a talent. And the other talent that I have that I think helps me a lot is to be able to look at a facial pose. To be able to look at a facial pose like this, just looking at the lips here, being able to look at a facial pose and hear what this character is saying if air was being pushed through the throat. And that helps a whole bunch when doing lip syncing.
Yeah.
So it helps out a whole bunch when doing lip syncing to be able to know what sounds are being made if you were to push air through a character's throat. I don't know how to train that, and so I would distinguish that as a ambiguous talent, but the actual skill of lip syncing can be trained. And I was saying, I'll continuously say, like, you know, you have these certain points that you have these certain positions that you make sure that the lips and mouth are making in order to make those sounds. And I can tell you the generalistic things of, like, you know, an O sound starts wide, oh, and then goes down. You close your mouth as you say O. You bring the corners of your mouth inwards to make the O sound. To make an I sound is great because you start with an open mouth, ah, but like not a that sort of position, or that's or, but ah. Your mouth is making a sort of like the upside down D, and then you bring the corner of your mouth back and make an E sound, E. And when you spline between those two positions, I. And then I can also tell you that you're not lip syncing to the actual word itself, you're lip syncing to the sounds they're making, because accents have a different way of making sounds. I was intending on doing a tutorial about lip syncing, but I never really got around to editing that shit together. And I was going to do a pull away to different languages that I'm lip syncing to that I don't actually know how to speak because I don't speak those languages, but I'm still able to lip sync to it because the sounds are what important. If you've seen the Anthology 7, my Anthology 7 bits is on my channel. It's in the playlist called Animations. Pony's the Anthology 7, but only shorts made by Quillo and 60 frames a second. Did you find the perp? He used VPN software. Can't track his IP. In English, goddammit! And when he goes to in French! I don't know how to speak French. But I could lip sync to it because, again, just making sounds with your mouth. That's all it is. And I also want to do an animation to Made, M-A-Y-D-E. His voice work where he says apple pie in Ojibwe. I think that's how you pronounce it, Ojibwe. Which is the the North American First Nations around the area of, I think it was Dakota, Montana, and Ontario, I think. So that little area, north Midwest. But the word for apple pie in that language is it's like 16 syllables long. And I'm like, hey, I could lip sync that and use that as an example of saying, it doesn't matter if you speak the language, you can still lip sync to it. You just have to know what the sounds are being made and how to make your characters look or appear that they are making those sorts of sounds. And that is a talent that I recognize that I have that I can't really teach that well. Being able to determine what sounds are being made out of a mouth like this. Like this one's a but it's also got that mouth closed thing, which I make with the D sound. Y-E-S.
Y-E-S.
Yeah, so those are sorts of things you have to worry about. But don't let your apparent inability to recognize your own talent to keep you from entering any sorts of fields of artworks. If you find somewhere that you think, hey, this looks really cool, just start doing things like that. Just start doing things. Seriously, that's the only thing. The only thing keeping you from becoming a skilled artist is yourself. Genuine, that is it. The only thing keeping you from doing artworks is yourself. And you gotta get out of your own way to start making these sorts of artworks. I will continue from today and from 6 years down the track, I will give the exact same speech to literally anyone that says that, you know, I wish I was this talented, blah, 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 blah. Anyone that says, I will make the exact same speech again and I'll probably add more words, take out some words or whatever, because I believe so ardently in that fact. So, I mean, I ranted about it 2 streams ago. I'm pretty sure I ranted about it last stream, and, you know, I will rant about it in the next 10 streams if I need to. I will keep saying that sort of thing. The more people that realize the only thing that's keeping them from making art is themselves, then the better. Because that means there's more art on the planet, and that's just a better planet to live in. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing with Brightmac. All this to say, I have no idea what I'm doing with Brightmac here.
Does Y-E-S spell?
So he's going to have a lot less motions because, of course, he's going to be just kind of sitting there and listening. So I'm going to have him sort of sit back a bit more. One other thing that I had learnt is that it doesn't matter where the body is, it matters where the head is. So like, that doesn't appear like it's a big motion because of the fact that the head is roughly where it's supposed to be. But this is a much bigger motion because the head changes so drastically from its previous location. So, yeah, that is a skill I can teach you right now. If you keep your head in the same position, or relatively in the same position, the motion looks a lot less extreme. And if you want to make the motion more extreme, move the head.
This is why ES spell.
The good part about Bright Max motions here is that it's not gonna take that long to do. Well, it shouldn't take that long to do because he's not gonna be moving that much.
Yes.
Spell.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna have him look up a bit. Then here, I'm gonna make him lean forward.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
what does S spell?
Yes.
Spell.
Yes. Yes.
Again, I'm not
Yes.
too keen on that head motion there, so I'm just going to select that
yeah.
one. And I'm going to move the neck forward.
Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
Kill. I like that.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What does?
I'm going to make him lean forward a bit more because, of course, he's still a little bit confused as to why she's essentially crying over asking him what YES spells.
Yeah.
Spell.
Yes.
Again, I'm going to keep the head a little bit closer to where it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other part about like talent and skill and shit like that is that you should never take anything out of context. Alright, 1 sec. Oh shit. Oh no! You shouldn't take anything that you learn and oh damn, my bad. You shouldn't take anything that you learn to be you shouldn't consider anything that you learn out of context from what you can use in the future. And the reason why I made that declarative statement is the fact that the realization that I had that, you know, if you want the motion to look more intense, you move the head, is the fact that I learnt it in motorcycling and I learnt it in combat training. So, with motorcycling, the worst thing that you can do is something called target locking, and that is when you're going around a corner and your brain instantly has this terrifying notion of, oh no, I think I'm gonna hit that thing. I think I'm gonna hit that thing. I think I'm gonna hit that, and you're looking at the thing you think you're gonna hit, so you hit it. That's called target locking. Your brain instantly locks to a specific target, and you will go in that direction, and you will hit that thing that you don't want to hit. So when you want to turn on a motorcycle, the first thing you should do is turn your head. Look at the direction where you want to go, not the direction that you are currently going, because that takes lives. So, especially if you're going quickly. So yeah, and the reason why that's so important and why it applies to this situation as well is going back to combat training. One of the things that you do in, I'm pretty sure it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I had to do this as a part of my my current workforce, is that when you want someone to, you know, when you want to move someone without, you know, if you want to move someone forcibly, you move their head. You just control their neck and you move their head because the body will follow where their head is going. So that tells me that in any sort of motion that you're trying to make in animation, the head is the important part. And that makes a lot of sense because of the fact that when humans look at another human, they're not looking at their arms, they're not looking at their legs unless they're trying to see what the fuck they're doing. You look at their face, you look at their heads, and you can tell the intentions of someone just by looking at their heads, by looking at their face. You can tell if someone's angry, sad, happy, sad, you know, if they're going to attack you, if they're not going to attack you, if they're just having a bad day, if they're just, you know, that sort of thing. You look at their face and you determine what they're going to do based off of that. So yeah, if you want to make this sort of motions and make a motion more extreme or less extreme, you control where the character's head is. And I wasn't taught that. I just sort of picked it up and was like, hey, that makes a lot of sense. It seems like it's a logical sort of connection to make. And yeah, it sort of works. So if you want to make a motion seem a little bit more insane, you move their head a little more. If you want to make a motion seem a little bit less emphasized, you keep their head in roughly the same position as it was before. There you go. So I picked that up by combat training and motorcycling to, like, unless I'm making an animation about combat or an animation about motorcycling, those two topics couldn't really be further from animating. And yet, I'm like, okay, I'm going to apply this knowledge here. And that's something that you should do as well. I'm not sure if I would define that as a talent or a skill. It's definitely in the bounds of, like, creativity and a sort of intellectual mindset about the planet where you just think everything could potentially be connected and you find the connections between it. But yeah, so yeah, don't expect that anything that you learn is only applicable in the environment that you learn it in. So here, I'm gonna make him. Someone's skateboarding outside.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Mm.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 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 Yes.
What does...
And going back to what I was saying about, like, talent in voice acting, and when I'd said that, like, having a quote-unquote good voice is a talent, it's really not all that applicable. Being able to voice act is the most important thing. Being able to act before you voice act is the most important thing. So that's the people, when starting out, forget that voice acting is more about the acting and less about the voice. It's just acting through your voice. There's a big difference between using your voice to act and acting through your voice. And voice acting is more acting through your voice. So acting is the important bit. Because, you know, you could have the grungiest, harshest, terrible, most, like, you wouldn't want to have a bedtime story read with this voice. You could have that and still be a fantastic actor And it was a fantastic voice actor because of the fact that your voice would apply to specific situations that can't be found elsewhere. Like the actor that played the bear in Over the Hedge. He, you know, been smoking 60 packs a day sort of thing for the last like 10 years or so. And so he has this very grungy and gravelly voice, and it fit perfectly for the character of Vincent from Over the Hedge, the bear. And it's just like, yeah, you don't have to have the most crystal clear voice. You just have to have the voice that fits the act that the director wants. So don't assume that, oh, my voice doesn't sound nice. Just put yourself out there. Start using it, you know?
Spell.
Yes.
What does EYE? What does
Yes.
What does EYE? What does EYES spell?
Yes.
Oh. I think it is just the chair. My back is terrible.
Okay. What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
Also, just quick shout out to the reason why this audio clip exists. Like, genuine, it's just a couple in a car, and she thought it would be funny to use this prank against. It must be her partner or something. I don't exactly know. Could be her dad. I don't know how to tell age by voices. But the fact that you know, just she decided to start recording it. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
YES spell.
Yes. Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
Spell.
I might actually
Yes.
make it even shorter.
Spell.
Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
Spell.
Yes. Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
Spell.
Yes.
YES spell.
Yes. Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell? What does EYS spell?
Yes. Yes.
Spell. Yes, spell.
Yes.
What does EYES spell? EYS spell. Spell.
Yes. 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 Yes.
This pose a little bit further. I realize what I'm doing is like kind of using final pass skills in the first pass, which is not really something you should be doing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because like one of the most difficult things you have to get used to when doing first passes and things like this is not really focusing as hard on the product that you see before you, and more focusing on what you're intending on making the product, because of the fact that this
Yes. Yes.
my brain is saying this doesn't look right, and that's because like it's not, and I need to just kind of
Yes. Yes.
okay, that looks better.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
My bad.
Spell.
Yes. What is happening?
This is just how freaking clueless he is.
What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? What? What is happening?
What?
Hang on. Before I go any further, I need to, because the other thing that I'm doing is I'm positioning his body in reference to his eyes. I'm positioning his head in reference to his eyes, because that's one of the big important part about it. And so I need to make sure that his eyes are actually in the reasonable position that it should be. And this is another reason why blocking is so powerful, because of the fact that now his eyes are going to be following her, and I can reanimate him. I can animate him to make sure that his eyes are alright at this stage, as opposed to having to fix it up at the end.
Okay, what does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
One of the things I will have to fix up at the end is, you see this little green line here at the end of his eye?
Yeah.
One of the... Here it is. That's better, that's a better shot. One of the fun or annoying parts about how SFM renders eyes, at least in the eyes of the pony models here, is that it's, you know, it's a flat model of like an eye shape that has a texture applied to it, which is being shifted based off of what the view target is, or you know, how you decide to model it. And the problem is that the specific eye texture on this model, it repeats. So that's actually the back of the model, the back of the eye. And that's something that you don't actually see from this end, or at least it's on the other side, and it kind of wraps around the entirety of the eye model itself, and it can sometimes appear on the other side of the eye, which is quite terrifying. There's not really much of a fix to it. The only way that you can actually really fix this is by turning the head so that it doesn't go too far in the thing. The other method you could use as well is to use this eyes converge and move it slightly outwards. Okay, so eyes converge doesn't do anything. Oh, that's right. It's the wrong model I'm interacting with. Here it is. So eyes converge. If you bring it slightly in... What the hell? Why isn't he doing anything? What the fuck? Huh? Why is it not working? I'll save this project real quick in case SFM crashes. Okay. Maybe his model isn't set up properly. Concern. But yeah, you can usually use eyes converge and like separate the eyes a little bit. What converge does is it either brings the eyes together or it brings it further away. That's very useful in terms of making the character look like they're focusing on something close to them or focusing something further away. Could also be used to make it look derpy as well, or drunk. I've used it to mean drunk as well. Spaced out is another thing. I don't think I've actually used it for being spaced out, but yeah, so that's what eyes converge can do, and it can also solve the issue of the eye texture wrapping around to the other side of the eye. There might also be like a texture fix or a model fix or something like that that's used in a different model that I just don't have because I'm a dingus like that.
Okay, what does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What is happening? What is happening? What is happening?
Yeah.
happening? What is happening? What is happening?
A little sound too.
What is happening? What?
What does YES?
God damn. Yeah.
What does YES spell? What does YES? What does YES?
I shouldn't really be all that concerned about his eyes position at the moment, eyes in reference to the head at the moment, primarily because of the fact that, again, this is not the final motions, so that's one of the things I have to get used to, is that, like, I'm going to be fixing it up later, so, yeah.
What does YES? What does YES? What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does YES spell?
Yeah. Yes.
YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES? What does it? What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES? What does EYES? Yes.
Yes.
What does EYES? EYES. Yes.
Yes.
Yes! I'm gonna set him up for this pose I'm gonna make him do here. I need to make him sit back, actually sit forward, and move his head back a bit further. Actually no, neck forward, head up.
Yes.
Now this is going to be one of those more frequent blocking aspects. I'm going to have him...
Yes.
I think I'm gonna have his head actually upwards.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I think. I'm gonna raise his head a bit more here. Raise his head. Raise his head.
Yes. 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 What are you crying for?
What does this...
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. Okay, what does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What is happening?
What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Yes.
Just gonna save a couple times here.
Yes.
Did I forget to... I forgot to fucking notify the fucking stream. Fucking damn it. Notifications, all. Notifications. Streams. I am live an hour ago. My bad. Tiny Think Sweat. Oops. I gotta get more into the use of that.
Yes. 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 Yes.
just dying. Oh, it's so good.
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does EYES?
Yes. What are you crying for?
God damn it.
Okay, What does Y-E-S spell?
Yes.
What does E-Y-E-S spell?
Yes.
What does E-Y-E-S spell?
Yes. What is happening?
What does Y-E-S spell?
Yes.
What does E-Y-E-S spell?
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does this...
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What?
Oh, God fucking damn it. Oh, this animation is giving me life. Like, God, like just aspect of reality is just, it's just filling my soul.
E-Y-E-S.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does this...
What do you do?
Okay, try again.
Fucking hell. I'm gonna cry, actually.
What?
Stop.
Oh. I'm actually gonna add his hoof into this.
What are you crying for? What? What are you? What are you?
Oh. Finger aim. And there we go.
What are you crying for?
What does...
What are you crying for? Crying
You're making me cry. Oh, yes! I'm gonna make him reach out and grab her hand. Sorry, her hoof. Yes! Hang on.
What are you crying for?
What does it...
What? What are you crying for?
What does it...
Fucking hell!
For
Ah, this is restoring life to me. Like physically, like the artistic manifestation of just a health potion right here. It is. This is the animation of youth. It is physically restoring me. Humanity restored.
What does it...
Alright.
crying for?
So here, I'm gonna grab her hoof and actually put it in his.
What are you crying?
Add another little motion here where she actually reaches out for it.
What are you crying for?
Actually, I might just make it a little bit less extreme. There. God damn it. Whoa. Hand holding. Man, this just became an X-rated stream. Hello, Robloxian Line Productions. Today is going exceptional. It is just going so well right now. I am enjoying myself, like genuinely enjoying myself right now. This animation is like, it is adding years onto my life. It's like physically adding years on my. I'm pretty sure you can see like my face just de-aging. So like, you know how I had the like the Twilight Coronation and the like the Not a Pony animation, those sucked life out of my soul. And I'm only now just getting it back. I don't even care if this animation gets like 1 view. I'm making this shit for myself.
EYES.
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does it...
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What?
Fucking hell. God fucking damn it. I love this so much. I'm sorry I'm swearing so much. I'm just having like, it's just overload. Let's have a look at what I've done so far. So let's just give it a quick squeeze.
Okay, what does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What is happening?
What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does it...
What do you do?
Okay.
What are you crying for?
What does it...
What are you crying for?
I might actually make him reach out
What
his
are you
hand.
crying for?
I might actually make him reach out his hand a bit quicker. Left. Actually, I just select all of it. I don't know.
Crying for. What are you crying for?
What does it...
What are you crying for? What are you crying for?
God fucking damn it. Let me just get rid of the scene real quick. The grass. Yeah, so I can look underneath. That's fine.
Cry for. What are you crying for?
God damn it.
For.
What does it...
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What?
Fucking hell. God damn.
What are you crying for?
What does it...
What are you crying for?
What does it...
What are you crying for?
What does it...
So, like, the other part of it is, like, adding more context to the reason why this animation is giving me such a bonus of life is my own little headcanon for this animation here. My headcanon is, like, this is an actual interaction that Pear Butter and Bright Mac actually had. And I've explained this, I think, in the last couple streams, but, yeah, so this is an actual interaction that Pear Butter and Bright Mac actually had. And the evidence of that is because of the fact that, because of this situation happened...
What are you doing?
Okay, try again. What does Y-E-S spell?
Yes.
What does E-Y-E-S spell?
Yes.
So, because this interaction happened, and because they're having such a good time and they want to remember it more, Bright Mac, when he just, like, at random points throughout, like, you know, just random times, anytime Pear Butter asks him something, he will say,
Yes.
which would get Pear Butter to smile, because it's a little funny reference to something, a little in-joke they had. And so, because Bright Mac keeps saying
Yes
all the time, which makes Pear Butter smile, a young Big Mac would see that, and then Big Mac would start saying, yep. Because that would remind him of what his dad used to say to his mum, and the fact that his mum would be, he was all like enjoying that sort of thing. And so, Bright Mac saying, you know,
Yes
all the time, making Pear Butter laugh, Big Mac would see that, start saying, yep. Both of them would have, like, such a positive reaction to it, because it's like, it's an in-joke that they share between each other. And now Big Mac's saying it, their son is just deciding to say it because Dad is saying it, it makes Mum and Dad laugh. And so that's why Big Mac says, yep, as like a big thing. And so that's just my headcanon. Like, obviously that's not the actual story, but like, it has such a, like a, I don't know, a raw, genuine, positive, emotional reaction in my soul every time, like, I'm making this thing a reality, because it's like, it's such a, like, a funny, goofy thing that fits so perfectly into the actual, you know, show. And I find that really awesome. Hello there, Joy. How's it going? So yes, this is what I do.
What are you crying for?
Online.
What are you doing?
Okay, try.
Joey Tamara. Hey, hey.
What does it...
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Okay.
What are you doing?
Okay, try again.
This is giving me life. Like, this is fueling me. I won't need to eat for 16 years because of this animation.
What does it...
Yeah, I'm gonna bring his hoof down a bit. How has your day been going so far? I'm trying to, like, diplomatically word my responses because I know who you are. But I don't want everyone else knowing who you are, you know? So how has your day been going so far? Well, I don't want to be... No, I don't want to be the reason why everyone knows who you are and everything like that. But yeah, that's good news. Alright. Yes. The cognitive hazard that I have in my mind. How scary the internet is. Just reality in general. I'm gonna move his other hoof a little bit closer. Yes. Accidentally doxes you. No, but yeah. So that it's good that you've been going pretty well. And it's like the other part of it is like having a conversation with someone that you know in a live stream, but that you don't want to like tell everyone else what you know of them. It's always fun trying to think of the ambiguous language to use to both describe and not describe the interaction. It's kind of like it's a long drawn out version of I cannot confirm nor deny. Very confusing. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Whoops!
What are you crying for? What are you...
Just...
What are you crying for?
Bright Mac dies. Holy shit, Bright Mac dies. He's dead. Alright. Just gonna kind of move his finger. I say finger, it's his hoof, but the reason why I say finger and hand is because that's how it's that's the nomenclature of the rig. So here, gonna delay the reaction, delay Bright Mac's reaction here, but he's going to sort of lean back a bit. Of course, if I want to make the motion more exaggerated, gotta move the head. I'm going to move the hoof in a bit. Finger, aim. Yep. I'm going to move this one back as well. I'm not going to be breaking his arm. It's always a risk when it comes to animating, accidentally breaking the arms of your characters. That's all good. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for coming in for the little bit. But yes, yeah, have a good rest of your day. Try not to break his arm. There we go. God fucking damn it! Sorry, I'm swearing so much. It's just Okay, so one of the things that I find really compelling, I guess, about human emotion is that one of the big reasons why... Okay, so crying is a biological response to contaminants entering the eye. So that's the main reason why animals cry. Why, you know, an overflow of... you know, liquids enters the tear ducts, which causes water and brine, the saline, the salty sort of solution that happens in your eyes. Saline and brine and water or whatever chemical is actually in your eye. That's what causes an overload of that, is because it pushes water from the inside of your head through your tear ducts, through your eyes, so it can try and get rid of any contaminants. That's why when you know, you get pepper sprayed or you get dirt in your eyes, you're blinking and you're got this massive overload of you know, tears and crying. You're not actually sad, but it's just a biological response to get the shit that's in your eyes out of your eyes, which is one of the reasons why pepper spray and mace is just so terrible, is the fact that water reaction actually makes the pain worse. So, ooh, fun times that. But yeah, so that's why mammals invented crying, I guess. That's why crying happens. You notice that the similar things happens in cats and dogs, where you start noticing that there's this black or dark colored brown, sometimes spongy stuff at the corners of their eyes. That's just because they're just getting shit from out of their eyes. That's all it is. And I don't actually say shit as in literal shit, but like dirt and other stuff out of their eyes, and that's why they start forming this little tear shape on the corners of their eyes, is because they're just getting things out of their eyes. I'm not a vet or biologist at any means, but that seems reasonable to me. But the thing about humans as well is that we have sort of hijacked, or we've added meaning to the biological mechanism of getting things out of our eyes, and we've caused it to be linked to also an emotional reaction. We cry because we're trying to overload our eyes to get things out of their eyes. But the other thing that crying also does and achieves is it allows specific chemicals that are in your brain to also come out of your brain. And I can't remember what the actual name of this chemical is, but when you have an overload of emotion, you produce, or your brain is being flooded with this specific chemical, which the easiest way to get rid of it is through your tear ducts. You know, it'd be really gross through your tear ducts and through your nasal passages and things like that, which is why when people get really sad and really angry or really sad, they start having this mucus build up in the back of their face, and they start getting the throat, and you start because of the fact that not only is it a struggle to breathe now because you've got all of this mucus and shit, but also you're overloading some certain biological mechanism. Anyway, so you're getting this chemical that's in your brain out of your brain, and by means of your eyes. So the thing that I really like about it is that not only is it applied to just being sad, it's applied to the overload of emotion. And that's all that crying is to the emotional side of it. Outside of the biological aspect of just getting things out of your eyes, it is now getting things out of your brain. And so when you have an overload of emotions, when you've got an overload of chemicals going in your brains, that's when you start crying. And that's why people can cry when they're sad. That's the most general thing, because of the fact that that's the emotion that is the most powerful and most common example of crying. But when people cry when they're happy, when they're laughing so much, they are having an overload of dopamine and serotonin and things like that, and the brain's like, I need to get rid of this somehow, and so it puts it through your tear ducts and things like that. And also that's why some people can cry when they're angry as well, because they have this overload of emotions. I imagine that the added adrenaline things in your system is like, okay, we need to get rid of this somehow, so it goes through your eyes, the tear ducts. I say this as well, but I'm not a doctor, biological mechanist or whatever, anything like that, so I don't actually know the actual things about it. But the thing that I find so amusing is that, you get this overload of emotion, you start crying, and I'm having this overload of emotion from this just animating this thing, so I'm probably gonna start crying. But I find that amusing how that's just like a biological reaction to this type of stimulus. Oh, that's her hand. I need his hand. Finger. There we go. Hang on. There we go. That's what I'm after. I know how that looks. It's gonna look less like that in motion.
What do you do? What do you do?
There's no way I can avoid the way that that looks at the moment. Just settle down, guys. Oop. So yeah, there's no way I can avoid the way that this looks at the moment, but settle down, guys. It's not finished yet, so just shut up. Yes, and that's one of the other side effects of how the the eyes work in these models. You can make them go "Erdoo." It only happens in some models. And that's because the center of the eye texture is like here, because that's where the view target is, and so it wraps around to the other side, which makes it look like his eyes are really far outwards, because that's the easiest way for our brain to conceive of the fact that the iris is in that position, is that it moved outwards, which means that he's going like which is what I say makes it look a little bit derpy sometimes. To countermand this, you just have to make sure that the head is in more of a direction as to where his eyes are facing.
What do you do?
Okay.
What do you do?
Okay. Try again.
What do you do?
Okay. Try.
Do.
Where's my elbow? Where's his elbow? El below. It is el below. stupid. Oh, fucking hell.
What do you do?
Okay, try.
What do you do?
Okay, try again. Okay.
Is El below? Dingus.
Okay. Try.
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What? Okay, what does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What is happening?
What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does?
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What?
God fucking damn it.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What is happening?
What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does?
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What does?
What do you do?
Okay, try again.
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What does?
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What does?
Do
Okay, try again. What does YES spell?
yes.
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Ease.
AS.
AS. You're making
I
me.
can't breathe. Okay.
EYES.
Yes.
What?
Say it again. What does EYES spell?
Yes. What? You're making me cry. What?
EYES.
E Y E eyes.
God damn it. Ah.
Okay. What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What is happening?
What does YES spell?
Yes.
What does EYES spell?
Yes. What are you crying for?
What does?
What do you do?
Okay, try again. What?
What do
Okay, what? Try again. Try again. Okay, try again.
Alright, so I'm gonna complete just this up to this stage of Bright Max Motions. And then I'm probably gonna call it here. The next stream I'm gonna be focusing more on Pear Butter's the continuation of Pear Butter's motions here. And then yeah, that'll be what the next stream's gonna be.
do?
Okay, try again.
Okay, so my back really hurts, and it's not gotten better. So I'm gonna go to the doctors and see what's wrong with it, because this so in April I came off my motorcycle. It was very low speed coming off, but it did end up riding off my motorcycle, mainly because of the fact that I was going down a hill to the left, and it was around a bend. The roads were slippery. The bike came out from underneath me, so the bike went up ahead, and I was sliding behind it, and it wedged itself under a guardrail, which, you know, since it was sliding and it wedged itself, the fairings were completely broken, and there may have been also internal engine damage, which is never a good thing to have on a motorcycle. And it, on the weeks, like the days afterwards, I was fine. No issues. None whatsoever. On one of my shifts, for one of my breaks, I decided to lay down on the ground for a bit, just to chill out for a sec. It was not uncommon for me to do that at that establishment, just primarily because of the fact that there were too many staff on the shift, and so for the jobs that were required to be doing, we were doing rotations through it. There was a lot of downtime, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to take my 30-minute break here. I'm just going to lay down for a bit. And it was, the other part is that this was also overnight, so this was at like 1 a.m. So I'm not weak. I'm just weak, okay? But yeah, I just decided to lay down on the ground, and I was chilling out for a bit. And then when I got up, just this massive amount of pain happened at the very, like, just above my, okay, so where your spine is, and you got your pelvis going around, just above on the left side where I hit the ground. Just above there was just this massive twinge of pain, as if like there was a nerve in between the lower columns of my spine, and it was just getting, and my muscles were just like, and I was just like, oh, why? God damn. But you know, that pain ended up subsiding by the end of the shift, so I was like, okay, it's probably not that big of an issue, but I've notified it in the back of my brain as like, this could possibly be an issue. And now I had bought a new bike a couple days ago, and I decided to go on a long ride down to the Gold Coast and all the way back up to Brisbane, and it was a very nice one, but since I'm not used to that riding position anymore, I feel as though, and maybe also linked to the accident, my back just got a little bit stressed out at that point, and so now my back is really, really sore today. But this type of soreness is not the same localized pain in the back of my back. It's kind of like, it's all around the abdomen, and pretty much, yeah, it's just all around the abdomen. And I'm like, this is a lot more pain than before. So I'm probably gonna have to go to the doctors to make sure I'm not gonna have my spine just like eject itself out of my back. So we'll see what happens there. I was also doing a lot of walking around yesterday as well, so that probably added to it as well. And add to that, I don't think this chair is good for my back in any way. But yeah, so all that sort of ranting aside, that's what I'm going to be doing today. Just going to go there and make sure I'm not going to have an ejected spine. But yeah, that's it for this stream today. Thank you for enduring my little rant about my back. Tune in next week, plus 1 day, minus 1 hour. I'm actually going to schedule this for the 11 a.m., which is what I have it set up in my Google Calendar, which is why I was like, oh crap, I'm late, but I actually wasn't. So that's top tier chess playing from me. So yeah, either check out this channel, and you'll be able to find the link to the next live stream. Actually, I might put it as like one of the featured blocks on my channel. I might actually do that. Anyway, or join my Discord server, which is in the link in the description, and I'll be and ask for the notifications for streams, and I'll be posting when I'm going to be posting the link to the next stream, which will tell you what day and what time you'll be able to tune in for the next one. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you in the next one. At this point, this is Quillo and us signing out. Goodbye and good luck. Haven't said that in a long time. Yep. Okay. Bye. Me?